Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a true classic, Isaac Asimov's 1950 collection of stories, I, Robot.
Yeah,
And our mission is, well, it's to figure out how this one book pretty much laid the entire foundation for how we tell stories about AI ethics.
it really is the blueprint. I mean, this book didn't just tell stories, it actually defined the rules of the game for how humans and robots would interact.
And it all centers on the three laws of robotics.
Exactly. It's their first major appearance, and they set the standard for almost everything that came after.
So let's start with how the book was even put together, because it's not a novel in the way you might think.
No, not at all.
It's what's called a fix-up collection. Asimov took all these short stories he'd written over about a decade, I think between 1940 and 1950.
And he wove them into a single narrative for the publisher, Gnome Press.
And the way he did it was it was genius. He created this framing device.
Oh, the framing device is brilliant. The whole thing is presented as an interview with Dr. Susan Calvin.
The chief robo-psychologist at U.S. Robots and Mechanical Men, Incorporated.
Right. And she's looking back on her career, telling this reporter about all these strange cases she had to solve, basically debugging robot brains, these positronic brains.
You know, I love the little detail that he fought the publisher on the title.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to call it Mind and Iron.
That's a great title.
It is. But they insisted on I, Robot, which was borrowed from an older story by someone named Iendo Binder.
Well, whatever the title, the content was what mattered. It was monumental. I mean, you had the Saturday Evening Post saying these laws revolutionized the science fiction genre.
Because they made robots interesting, right? It wasn't just about killer machines anymore.
Exactly. Suddenly there was ethical conflict, there was nuance.
And you see that in the original reviews. The New York Times called it an exciting science thriller.
And others recommended it for the puzzle situations and for the humor and warm character. It had layers.
Let's talk about the real-world influence, because it's kind of amazing.
It really is. I mean, here's a fun one for you. You know the modem company US Robotics?
Wait, from back in the dial-up days.
The very one. They took their name directly from the fictional company in the book.
No way. So every time I was connecting to the internet, I was basically dialing into Susan Calvin's company.
You are. It's a direct homage.
That's wild. Okay, so getting this to the screen, that has been a very complicated journey.
It's a very long one.
In the late 70s, Harlan Ellison wrote a screenplay that Asimov himself absolutely loved. He said it could have been the first really adult, complex, worthwhile science fiction movie ever made.
But it never happened. It was deemed unfilmable. You know, the budget, the special effects technology of the time.
So why do you think that script, the one Asimov personally signed off on, stalled out, while the 2004 Will Smith movie became this huge blockbuster?
Well, the thing about the 2004 film is that it wasn't really a direct adaptation at all.
Right. The plot was mostly original. It was based on a totally different script called Hardwired.
Exactly. It borrowed Asimov's world. It used the three laws, character names, and a few ideas from one story, Little Lost Robot, but it was an action movie first.
An action movie wearing Asimov's ethical framework as a coat.
A very good way to put it. And the ideas are still alive. Just last year, David S. Goyer confirmed he got permission to bring robot concepts, including the laws, into the Foundation TV series.
For the character Demerzel.
So the source material just keeps evolving, and I think its value is in how it anticipated this need for robot psychology. It was about managing complex AI behavior long before that was a real-world problem.
So that brings us to a final thought for you to consider. The universe is still growing. Mickey Zucker Reichert became the first woman authorized by the Asimov estate to write official prequels, books like To Protect and To Obey.
Right, filling in the backstory.
So here's the question. What does it take for a fictional universe, one that's so deeply rooted in a set of ethical rules, to be handed over to a new generation of creators successfully? How do you maintain the integrity of that original vision? It's like a question of governance, but for a story.